All right, everyone, we are here with a very special guest. We have music superstar Zara Larsson in studio.
In studio. It's
yes,
so nice.
I know. It's fun when we get people to come and chat in the real. We made this whole room and everything, you know.
Yeah. No, I like it. It's always better than a Zoom.
Exactly.
Yeah, we like to make it cute for you.
And still
It's very cute.
Like post-pandemic, we definitely get people still. They're like, oh, they're only available on Zoom, and we're like, oh,
yeah,
come on, look how cute this studio is. Don't you want to come sit on?
I really enjoy it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. You look comfy, cozy.
Yep.
And also very cute.
Yeah. How are you feeling? We are in album release week.
I feel
nervous, excited,
weirdly calm.
Good.
Like so calm. I'm like, oh, I'm releasing an album, which is strange because usually, I mean, there's still a couple of days to go as we're like recording this, but usually by now I will call my manager and I'll be like, pull the whole thing. And I'll be like, what have I done? Like, I don't feel like, I just get so nervous because it's just about releasing control over something that you worked on for such a long time. And now just have to let it out in the world and like, you know, see it fly, hopefully. And it's just nerve-wracking to see what people will think about it and how people will react to it, and if I'm still happy with, like, there's just so many emotions going on. But right now I just feel so calm. I feel very confident. I just feel like I've done an amazing album. I feel free, no anxiety, just like back to the roots of where I first started making music. And it was just about like putting stuff out because I wanted people to hear my songs, having fun, like really having fun with it, making the songs, singing the songs, performing the songs. So that's kind of where I'm at, just having like fun and being free with it.
Because you have been making music for so long, do you feel like you've entered eras where maybe you weren't having so much fun and you weren't feeling so free, and now you've reached that point again?
Yes, exactly. I feel like my previous album, Poster Girl, which is an amazing album, but like creating it, I felt so pressured from coming off of So Good, which did really, really well commercially and like in streams and that. And I just felt so stressed about how do I live up to what I've previously released, and how will people like what will other people think about it, which is of course something that you think of as an artist, and whatever you release, like I think my audience reactions are important, but at the same time it can't be everything, and it can't be what dictates how and what you create. But I felt like I was really, really stressed about that, and now it's just kind of like back to the no pressure and just like having fun with it. I don't really know exactly how I did that or how it happened.
You're like, just relief came over me. Like,
but I think it was intentional, like very intentional, in just let's do what I think is good and amazing. I think it's also a bit of it is just growing up and maturing and realizing that, I don't know, life is long, but life is short, and I get to do what I love every single day. And really intentionally try to also be grateful for that, I think has helped a lot in just the process of creating it. And I think it made the album better.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're the one creating it, so where you are at mentally shows through it. How long has Venus been in the works?
I would say 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a long time, and you're ready to let it fly.
Yeah.
Now, I saw you talking somewhere about how you own like your masters, copyright. I feel like that's such an interesting conversation, and not many people know the ins and outs of what goes on. So can you explain to us how you even got to that point?
Yeah.
And is it a bit of a relief when you are releasing new music that you own.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, this happened to me because I was signed to an like indie label in Sweden who are licensing my music through Sony. And I signed when I was 14, and then my contract was up basically. So I wasn't really with them anymore, with 10 records in Sweden. And Ola Håkansson, who started the record company, was kind of selling it off. Like, he is such a legend in the Swedish record industry, and he's done like his part. He's around 80 years old right now, and he was like, if I'm gonna sell all this, like the publishing and the masters and just everything off, I just want to ask you directly, would you like to buy your masters? Would you like to own your music? And for me, it was such an obvious yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't get that opportunity or chance. But he was also in the very, in the middle of like the whole Taylor Swift thing that I think we've all seen, even though some people might not realize like what it's actually about. It's like her, because she wrote all the songs, she has the right to the songwriting, but she didn't own the records, so that's why she can like re-record them. But he was just absolutely he was like, that's a nightmare. I would never want to be that type of person who would do something like that to an artist, because it's just not nice. Like it's just not. And he just asked me if I was interested, and it did take a long time to figure out like the perfect deal, because I'm still signed to Sony. And it was a lot of like meetings back and forth, and a lot of contracts and lawyers, and eventually we came to a really good agreement. And now I can finally say that, speaking of the publishing, I have songs that I did it because when I started my career, I wasn't a writer. Like I just wanted to sing. I just wanted to perform. So even the songs that I didn't write, but that are a very big part of my identity as an artist, I feel like now has a home and has a safe place with their mommy. And like, where they can live there, and I can decide what's gonna happen with them and to them. And if somebody asks for my songs in a commercial or for sampling or for like whatever it is, it's just nice to know that it's up to me.
Yeah, it's all in your control.
It's all in my control. And it's also just a nice little like, I see it as a retirement fund.
Yeah.
Almost.
Now, when people sell their
very unique 401k,
right? I was gonna say that's an interesting take on a 401k. Now, when people sell like their catalogs, they sell all their music. Now, is that, I don't understand, because it's like, now is that something you could do, but why would you?
Right. I think it depends on like the cash flow of things. Right. Because if you want to sell your catalog, I mean, we've seen some artists sell it for 200 million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's such a huge number that, or even 100 million or whatever it is. It's such a big number that they might feel like, oh, getting this huge amount of money just directly, I can just have it and then invest it in other things, and the cash flow of that will be bigger than, because it is an investment, and a lot of these
like
records,
owning a lot of investment properties.
You know what I mean?
You so a lot of these, sell all of them to
these records also are being bought up by like companies who are not interested at all in music. They're just like investment companies who would buy music because it is an investment. And they have nothing to do with creativity. They have nothing to do with any sort of like the music industry, but it's an investment. So I guess for them, for the really I think Justin Bieber, I think Justin Timberlake, Katy Perry. I think they just get such a huge number that at that point, it just makes sense, But I, luckily, didn't have to like buy my, I didn't have to buy my masters for 200 million.
Right.
So for me right now, like it makes the most sense to have that as an income. Like, you know what I mean? But we'll see in 20 years.
Like you said, retirement.
Yeah.
Growing up in Sweden, it seems like, just reading about you, that you were always very like creative schools, surrounded by creative people. What was that like? And when did you realize, like, wow, I'm going to do this as a career? Because you were very young.
I've always had that.
Yeah.
Like, just like this. I don't really know where it comes from. I've tried to search for it a lot in myself. Like, how did this come about? I'm not from a musical family or a family that cares at all about any sort of like spotlight lifestyle. But I have just always felt like someone who loves to entertain people. And I think the older I get, I realize that deep down, I just want to connect with people. Like, I just want to have, I don't know. That's why I love to do live shows, because you can see the people in the crowd, and you get to create that moment with people. But yeah, it was really incredible for me growing up, surrounded by like-minded friends, and the majority of my like school career I spent at the Royal Swedish Ballet School. So it wasn't like a singing school or a musical school at all. We were dancing a lot. But a lot of my friends, you know, they did shows at the opera, or they did other sort of like performances. A lot of people in my class did sing, and they were, I don't know if you know what Eurovision is.
Yeah.
So it was like a kids version of that, and some people were in that. And so people were just, you know, performing.
Right.
And very supportive of each other. It was never any type of jealousy or any type of like, you know, try to bring each other down. It was super uplifting. We were all, I think we were like 3 boys in my class. We were all just girls. Everybody was sitting. We were rearranging the school cafeteria so everyone would sit at like one table. It was just a very like sisterhood type of feeling. And I think that shaped me a lot. And just shaped me and my confidence, and just like pursuing what I wanted to do. But I've never had a plan B. I've just never seen anything else for myself. And I think I've just, and it, definitely not in a cocky way, but just waking up every day and just being like, I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm gonna do this. Just subconsciously telling yourself that you are talented, like you are good, you are capable, was just something that has always, I've never put doubt in myself. Feeling that for the first time, like anxiety or doubt, I think it was like when I made Poster Girl, or a bit older, and I realized, sometimes things don't go as planned. But before that, it was just like a very straight road, like straight road. Nothing can stop me. And I do think that you are the creator and the director of your life. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not only the observer and like the cameraman, but also what you tell yourself and like what you believe, I think, is what you capture when you know?
Yeah. Do you remember that day when you were first signed, or where were you? Were you in school? What your people in your lives' reactions were?
Yeah, I mean, getting signed is such a interesting thing, because really you just kind of sign a paper. Right. It's not like you win a huge competition and everyone's like, oh my God, you're a winner.
But you did win.
I did
competition.
win.
That's why she's like, you already won, so it's like signing.
But you just like sign a bunch of papers and then you're like, cheers, with some like sparkling like soda or whatever. But for me, it was just the beginning of like, okay, boom, let's go. Yeah. Like, we're doing this. And I was still very young when I got signed. I was 14. And it took a lot of convincing them to be like, I'm not too young. Like, I'm serious. I'm serious business. You know, it was, because they were a little bit on the fence, 10 records at first, because 14 is still very young. Yeah. But I wanted
That's
to
why
be...
you emphasize sparkling soda.
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it was exciting. It was a really big day. But then of course the work kind of starts after that. You know, you're signed, and then it's like, okay, let's get to work. Let's get in the studio. Let's release some songs and do videos. But it was a really, really fun time in my life. Yeah. Definitely.
Now genres have kind of like melded and there's different sounds. But at that time, like, was the dream to be pop star? Like, I feel like you just scream pop star, you know?
I don't think I even thought of... Like, when you're young, do you think a lot about genres? I don't think you do. I think...
No, I just think you just know what you know.
You just know what you know, exactly. And back in the days also, it was a little bit... It was more limited to what you would listen to, I guess, comparing today. Because now you have all the songs in the whole world in your phone. Like, back in the days, you would go and, like, buy a record, you know, at the record store, which is so... cute.
Yeah. Like, it's so cute how we used to do that. Now everything's on TikTok.
You know, you have like all the songs and all the genres. But yeah, I would just, you know, you would go in, you would put the headphones on, you would like listen through an album, and you'd be like, okay, cool, that's cool. Like, I want to get that. But most of the albums that I was just obsessed with, I actually got as like birthday presents or Christmas presents, like the Beyonce album, Christina Aguilera, Celine Dion. I had a Madonna one. I had like, you know, those things, and they went like crazy in my house. So it was very much like
right into the boombox.
Very much like one, you know, I was obsessed with Beyonce's B-Day. And she had this like deluxe where she would have the music on one CD, and then on the other CD she would have like all her videos. So it was kind of like a visual album back at that point, like a DVD. And I would just watch these videos over and over and over. And that's when I realized like the dancing part of a performer, like who is also a singer. I was like, yep.
Yeah.
Like
that's what I want to do.
That's what I want to do. I want that to be a big part of who I am, because I was also dancing so much growing up.
Right.
And she just took my soul and my heart, Beyonce. She still got it.
Yep.
She still got it. And yeah, just growing up with that, and just like, I've definitely had my 10,000 hours in the mirror performing, just like pretending I'm on stage growing up.
Now, you said you spent a lot of time dancing. When did you realize you had a great voice?
I think I've realized that I could sing quite early on, because singing is it's so primal. It's something that just kind of happens to all of us. Like, it makes you feel
just get it
good.
or you don't.
And
or that.
Unfortunately, most of us don't.
Well, because
but it still feels good.
And they're like, it feels amazing.
It still feels good.
And you see so many people who have like, they're like, oh no, I have the home videos of 3 years old and I am perfectly on key.
Right.
I didn't sound like that. I have the videos, but I didn't sound.
And I always say, like, why stop doing something you love just because you're bad at it? You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like,
but I also think, like, growing up, it's so easy for parents or friends to be like, you're so good. Because either you're right though. You either got it or you don't, and then you could practice it and you can get a lot better. You could really, really become like so much better. But that, like, have a good pitch and just having like a good voice is something that you could hear quite early on. So I think just me like liking to sing, and then my parents would be like, you're amazing, you know, but they were like, is she amazing because she's amazing or because she's our child? Like, you know? But then it's just so easy to be like applauded when you're a kid who like is a good singer, I think. And then you just keep doing it because people appreciate you for it. And like I love the feeling of singing. It just makes you feel good. It's almost like a spiritual thing. It's like, it makes me feel happy. It makes me feel empowered. And it is just a really powerful thing. So I think it's easier to see a talent in singing and maybe even dancing. But it's hard, you know, if you want to be like an actress. I guess you could always be like a little bit of a clown and like to entertain people and that, but it's not very like many children who would like, I'm gonna do a Shakespeare monologue, and their parents are like, she's amazing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You could be a theater kid, but the singing and dancing part is so, it's like with us from the start almost.
Yeah.
So I think I just continued because people are like, woo. Yeah.
Now, are you still spending your time in Sweden?
Yeah.
Are you in LA as well? Is it a little bit
I
of
feel
both?
like I'm everywhere.
Really?
A lot in LA, a lot in Stockholm. Those are like my two main places. And then London a lot. And then just like touring here, you know, I'm here now for like a couple of days, and then it's a lot of traveling, I must say, which I really enjoy. It was so weird during that like COVID period where it was like, oh my God, I get to stay in one place for longer than 2 months.
Right.
Like that has not really happened to me since I was 15, 16.
That's crazy.
Like it was so insane.
Were you in Stockholm? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you like itching to travel again, or did you enjoy that
a little
time?
bit?
Yeah.
I think it was annoying because none of us knew like when is things gonna be like normal. If they would have said like it's gonna be like this for a year now, I would have been like, okay, cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
I could
all right,
like plan
right.
you
Settle
know,
in,
and I was like,
then-
maybe next month.
Yeah.
Maybe next month.
Exactly.
Maybe next month. But I did miss the airport. I did miss you know, going with my bags, and it's just you get used to it. But it was really nice to just spend time with my family and my boyfriend and my friends, and just kind of feel like, oh wow, like this is also what life could be.
Right.
Which is so different.
Yeah.
But very, very nice to have some sort of like like schedule a little bit.
Yeah. Routine.
Routine.
And now back to craziness.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now new album, promo,
Yeah.
touring,
Exactly.
everything.
I do enjoy that a
Yeah.
lot.
And
yeah.
I feel like you're loving TikTok too.
Oh gosh.
I
I turned off my screen time. I'm like, I don't want to see it.
right.
Like, don't send me updates.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Because you're an entertainer in multiple forms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you are very funny.
Very,
online.
very funny. And it was a while ago that the video of you talking about talking in the movie theater went viral.
I still stand by it. I just
and
did it.
it's hilarious to me because I love when somebody has a take and they stand by it. Like you're like, yeah, I think people should talk in the movie theater, which maybe has been said by nobody ever until you said it. And you open that discussion where you're like, well, you know, if I'm watching at home with my friends
Yeah, of
or
course.
anybody,
Yeah.
sometimes you talk out loud.
No, you talk a lot. If I watch it at home, I will sit with the remote and I'll be like, pause.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's analyze. It takes 4 hours for me to watch a movie.
I should probably pause and talk more often because I just talk while I'm at home, and I could see how that can...
For me, it's a part of the movie. But then I said like, oh, like I'm disrespectful, and sometimes things are just for comedic effect online.
Yep.
Like
Totally.
I'm not a disrespectful person.
Right.
I've actually never had someone tell me like shush or like be quiet or something in the cinema. I've never had that. So
the comedic relief.
Yes, and I loved what you said about it too, because you were like, look, I make these videos. She's like, I thought about it for 30 seconds and I put it out there. Like I just put it out, I post it,
I didn't
and
think it was
my
gonna be the
audience
same.
understands. And you're like, it reached an audience that is not my normal audience, and
it
that's
reached
where the problem lies.
It reached like the film like Reddit.
Yeah, and that is a place you don't want to be, because you're also like at the same time you're like, I wouldn't hang out with you guys anyway.
People were like, I'm never gonna go into the movies with you, and I'm like, we're
me
never going to
either.
the movies.
I
Like
wasn't
we're
planning
actually
on it.
never ever going to the movies.
Yeah,
together.
you're like,
you're fine.
You're losing sleep over this. I thought about this for 10 seconds before I posted it. So who's really winning here?
That's hilarious. That always happens on the internet. You think of
Yeah.
something for 1 second, you're like, that would be
Yeah.
funny to talk
Yeah.
about, and then all the experts come in,
No, I
and
know,
that's
I
when it's a
know.
nightmare.
Well, how do you, and I always laugh because I do feel like you love kind of clapping back at people too. Like you posted a
Too
TikTok last
much.
month that had me that had me dying because somebody commented like, "Oh, she's begging for streams," and you were like,
"Hello,
this is my job. Like, please stream my music.
Why do you think I'm here?
Right
now?
No, don't stream my music. I really don't want you to.
Please don't press play on my songs. Right? Like, what?
No, I know. But sometimes I gotta like stop myself because I am very much quick with my mouth.
Yeah.
And like growing up, I wasn't messy, but like I would not be quiet. If someone came for me, I would come for you back. Mm-hmm. But now I feel like, let's keep it cute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to argue with people online like that. But
I love that motto.
Yeah. But sometimes it's just like, and when I do it, it's very, very rarely, if any time, where I'm like, I'm not a very serious person. As some, like, I don't take myself very seriously.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just fun and games. You know, like it's not that deep.
And you're also like, I'm really not thinking about this any more than posting this right now.
Exactly.
But now that person thinks that you're thinking about it all day long.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've gotten to work with some like incredible DJs too, which is like really, I felt like put you into that dance scene where if you're in a club or you're out or you're at a show, like you're hearing your voice at a show. What has that been like to kind of enter that world? Like, do you go out to clubs ever? Do you hear like all of a sudden your song is playing? Like,
yeah, it definitely has happened. I think it's so nice to I feel like pop and the dance world, like EDM, they go very much hand in hand.
Totally.
They are good friends, and it's just a really fun thing to do a feature, because usually, you know, I have really grown to be a big fan of the whole EDM scene. And like growing up, I was listening a lot to, we have so many amazing DJs from Sweden, like Swedish House Mafia, Avicii, obviously, so many good producers. And just to be a part of that scene is super fun. I feel like it's a very welcoming scene. It's a very nice community. Like people who also love house and EDM and techno, like that whole like dance scene is very fun to be a part of. And the DJs who I've worked with are all super collaborative, super generous, and it just also opens me up for like a new kind of group that I maybe wouldn't have reached with just my music. But like it makes so much sense to have my voice sing the songs. Yeah.
No, I mean it's great because, and they're so catchy and fun. You want to get up and dance. Like I had All My Love playing this morning as I was getting ready. I was like, this song is good.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and obviously everybody in the world has heard Symphony, so it's like, is there? I feel like, do you watch any? Your songs have definitely been like on episodes of Love Island. Like
it was recently, like last
so many
week
times because they love those playlists. I'm always anytime I'm listening to this moments in Love Island is UK. I'm like, God, this song is good. You know, like they pick great music, and a lot of times I'm like, of course, it's
and it
Zara
helps
Larsson.
you. Like sometimes I like my manager will be like, "You're top 3 on iTunes," and I'll be like, "Huh?" And then it's like, "Oh, because it was on Love Island."
I was watching last week, like this recent season, and I put the subtitles on because sometimes the accents, like I need it to be really crystal clear. And
I love a subtitle.
I saw it, and I was like, she's coming on the show next week.
Exactly. Exactly. Music by Zara Larsson. When it starts playing.
Right.
All the lyrics on the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so I can sing along.
Right.
It is. It's so fun, and I like festivals within that culture is so much fun too.
Absolutely.
Do you have any favorite festivals that you've played at or like areas you've been to?
I really love South America. Like that is just Brazil.
People always yelling at you.
Argentina,
Come to Brazil.
Chile. Yeah. But I don't know what it is like in their culture when it comes to music and sport, and like they are not afraid of just expressing their emotions, their feelings. I've never in my life been on a stage where I'm like, I can't hear myself. Like I cannot hear because the audience is so loud. And that's a dream, you know, for someone when you're on stage to have that response.
Right.
And for people to just really be present. And like, I feel like Swedish people sometimes they could be very quiet, but it's also because they want to be respectful for the people like around them. sometimes like if you have like a place like a seat where you're sitting, it's like you don't want to get up because maybe the person behind you like doesn't want to get up, and then you're like, oh, I'm just gonna be nice. But in Brazil, they don't care about that. They're like, I want to stand up, I want to sing, and then everybody stands up and sings. So that's incredible. Like Lollapalooza, Brazil, Chile, Argentina, it's just beautiful. I really do like my country, Sweden, when I'm there. It's nice. I don't play a lot there, but when I do, it's very fun. I think also festivals that are like kind of in the middle of nowhere. Also that feeling of like, because sometimes when you're in the big cities, people are so spoiled with like a lot of shows and concerts and events that when you go somewhere and it's like,
you're like, you people
one festival they're like they're like in it, you know. But I think every place has its own charm. I really do. And I have so much fun on stage. Like I have a new band this year and like my dancers and that, but just performing with the people that I am on stage with, we could perform in front of like a rock. And we'd be like, this is amazing. But I have so much fun on stage.
Well, that's amazing. That's the energy that you want when you're going into like a new tour, new music, new energy. It's like because you also just enjoy performing the songs that you have made. That it's so enjoyable for you, no matter who's out there. So it's very exciting. We're pumped for you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Your new album Venus out February 9th.
Yes.
So soon. It's here. Yay. Everybody go listen, stream. We're begging for streams.
Yeah. She's sitting here absolutely begging.
I'm sure you've heard some of the singles already. They're so good. So please go listen to the whole album. We'll love them.
Yes.
Zara, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.